Losang Rabgey is co-founder and director of Machi, a non-profit organization dedicated to strengthening communities on the Tibetan Plateau. She has a PhD in social anthropology from the University of London and has been recognized as an emerging explorer by the National Geographic Society. So please welcome Losang Rabgey.
Good evening. On behalf of everyone on the Machi team, thank you to John Flower, to the head of school, the Zeidman family, and to the Sidwell community for inviting us to be part of this wonderful lecture series. It is a genuine pleasure to present at an institution that shares our deep passion for education and for service. Many people from the Machi team are here tonight, from Canada, from the US, from Beijing, from Tibet, and I'm especially grateful that they made the time to come. Machi is, as John mentioned, a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to strengthen communities on the Tibetan Plateau. It's a broad mission, and I think what makes Machi unique is that it was founded by Tibetans in diaspora and works inside Tibetan areas, directly with local communities. It's an unusual approach, and though our organization is small in size, the breadth of our programs is wide and continues to grow. We work to counter the dominant narrative and instead believe that there is reason to hope for the future situation in Tibet. We began this work by putting the needs of Tibetan rural communities at the heart of the work. We then began traveling consistently to Tibetan areas and working closely with local communities, local education authorities, and the international community to deliver real services. By working in a transparent, open way, building a shared history of success, we have managed to build over time the most difficult thing, which is trust. The work began very organically in 1998 when we answered a call from the community called Chumba for a rural primary school. This community is approximately 5,000 people spread throughout a 13-kilometer-long valley on the eastern edge of the Tibetan Plateau, in a region we call Kham. And it's located in Lithang County, Sichuan Province. We began this work the only way we knew how, which was to respond immediately, and my parents, who are here today, made an interesting decision. They decided to cash in our father's retirement savings, and that was the first seed money that went to Tibet to build the school. And after that, my sister and I decided to take measures. And by 2002, through great support from friends and family, we were really pleased to see the opening of the Chumba Primary School. What amazed us is that in this community of subsistence economy, farming and nomad families, most of whom are illiterate, these children who were not handpicked, they were the kids of the parents the parents decided which children would go on to school. And in the very first year that this school operated, we insisted that these children not be tested with the rural schools, but instead that they be tested at the urban schools. And they took us all by surprise, truly, in that very first year, because these children, even though it was the first time they had been to an actual school, they placed first out of 53 schools in Lithang County, and maintained that level of achievement for 6 years in a row. The results were so surprising to local education authorities that they actually sent examiners back to the school for a second time in that first year and retested the children, and they did better the second time. It was because it was the second time they'd ever written a test. We're extremely pleased that by, fast forward 6 years, last July, the first graduating class of grade 6 students finally managed to place first in Chinese language tests as well. And it is their second language. So what we've been able to show is that these children from a typical rural Tibetan community can achieve far beyond what the local expectations are. And in fact, I think what the Chumba model has been doing very quietly, very slowly, incrementally over time is to raise the standard of education at the rural, local level. So we had to continue along this trajectory, and last fall we're very pleased again to open the Chumba Middle School. And whereas before, when we first went to Chumba, there was a school for about 12 children in a very small, kind of dilapidated building, there are now over 400 children in full-time boarding school, including the primary and the middle. And what's very exciting for us, that is in the middle school, currently all the teachers on staff are able to teach the subjects in sciences and the maths through the Tibetan language medium. I'm especially excited that tonight we have with us one of the top students from the Chumba Primary School. I'm just going to ask him to raise his hand. Jamyang Kenzi is here. While working in the sector of education, we also began to realize that there were many other needs that the community had, and that we could work collaboratively with the local Tibetans to achieve this. Greenhouse, clean water, solar energy, solar light, so on and so forth. We've added this year a vocational training center. And many people ask us, well, how are you going to scale this work? And for a small nonprofit like us, it is not within our means to scale laterally. And what we've been doing, and is very exciting, and I think this really makes Manchik unique, is that we have begun in earnest to take the model that's emerging out of this community-based development site, and have been engaged in serious conversations with local education policymakers. And we're, again, very happy that these conversations are beginning to bear fruit. So over time, as we've built the Chumba work, we have also been fortunate enough to be able to expand the work into other regions. In the northeastern region of the Tibetan Plateau, Amdo, which is in Qinghai, we have a program called the Mother's Wish Foundation. It's a scholarship program specifically geared for Tibetan girls and young women from farming and nomadic families. We send them to middle school, high school, and college. What's exciting about that program is that not only has it been successful in educating kids, but it has now launched as a local Tibetan-run NGO in the local context. So that is also part of our mission, is not only education and delivering the education, but building Tibetan local capacity to continue this kind of work in a sustainable, long-term way. So, and that points to another unique role that I think Manchik has, and that is to be, it has become, over time, a portal, connecting Tibetans in Tibet, Tibetans outside Tibet, Tibetans and Chinese, and then Tibetans and Chinese to the rest of the world. We are firmly convinced that we have to work towards a hopeful future, because the stakes are so high for these rural communities that don't have currently many means to voice some of their concerns. And we take the time and listen and really try to figure out what it is that these communities in very practical, incremental ways most want to see happen. With that, I think I should just mention that we also have programs in geotourism. We do digital media work in collaboration with the University of Virginia. David will talk more about that. And we've begun as well Tibetan diaspora outreach work with a wonderful new staffer, and even begun work in public education on HIV/AIDS in Tibetan language. So with increased understanding and support, we believe that the breadth and the depth of our work, our service work, will continue to grow, and in this way, we can invite the good hearts and good minds who are Tibetan, Chinese, and from the international community to work together and deliver hope through engagement.